Hello everyone, welcome to another video produced by our spiritual care department here at Salem Health. I'd like to give a shout out to the spiritual care office and all of the phenomenal work that they do day in and day out. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Tim Lamberson of our multimedia department. None of this would be possible without it. So Tim, thank you very much. Over the years, especially with the onset of COVID, you've heard me talk about various support elements that we can provide in our lives to give us strength and inspiration. And there's all of the usual sources. And today I'd like to talk with you and offer one suggestion that maybe you've not thought of. And that is looking for inspiration and support in some sometimes really unexpected situations. But today I'd like to talk with you about Dr. Jacob Eisenbach. This is his book, Dr. Eisenbach's book. It's called Where You Go, I Will Go. And I had the opportunity of watching and attending Dr. Eisenbach's talk here at the Salem Convention Center several years ago. And it was such an honor to listen to him and also to meet him. Quite frankly, I was awestruck by this man. He was extremely articulate. He had lived through World War II. He was the last surviving member of his family. All of his family had been killed in the camps. And so he came to America and made it his mission in life to become part of the American culture, but also to share his stories of what it was like being in the concentration camps and being in the Holocaust. This man actually lived through this time. So it was very humbling for me to be in his presence and listen to what he had to say. So this man, in his mid-90s, I might add, is a practicing dentist in California, but he also finds time to travel all over the United States and talk with various groups of people, particularly children. It's very important to him that he reaches the younger generations who may not be familiar with what went on during that time in history, and to keep those memories alive. So with his goal of this never ever happening again. So in his talk, he certainly talks about all of the things that happened to him in the war. In his book, he talks about his experiences in his home country, also during his time in the concentration camp, all of the things that they did to survive. And personally, I find such strength and inspiration in that. It was just so awe-inspiring to me, and I try and take that inspiration with me wherever I go day to day, and especially during these times of challenges with COVID and all that's happening throughout our world today. There's just no end to the need for inspiration, and certainly Dr. Eisenbach and all of the people who lived at that particular time really were part of the greatest generation, and we can learn a lot from them. He also talks in his book about the need for forgiveness, and that really resonates with me because as most of us do, we live our lives and we're confronted with challenges and things that just instantly anger us or cause our tempers to flare. And just the other day, I got cut off in traffic, and I was just so irritated that had happened. And I remembered Dr. Eisenbach's words about forgiveness, and I thought, take a deep breath, count to 10. If Dr. Eisenbach can forgive the people who raided his home, raided his country, his home, and killed all of those thousands, millions of people, if he can forgive that, I can certainly forgive the man who cut me off in traffic. So little bits of Dr. Eisenbach's wisdom can be found in his book and in his talks. He's an incredible man with just unlimited energy and such a drive to get his message out. Interestingly enough, when I was in Germany several years ago, as you travel through Berlin and the surrounding area, you will see remnants of World War II. You will see remnants of buildings that were used by the Nazis. You will see memorial gardens to all of the people who were killed during this whole conflict. And what I found really interesting, you know, you would think that there would be just this tremendous need to just tear that down and get rid of it, you know, start to build anew. But what I found out was that the German government after World War II and in the years since, but also the people of Germany themselves, they did not want those buildings torn down. They did not want those remnants taken away. And the reason being, they wanted those things there to serve as a tangible reminder of why this should never, ever happen again. And I think for us here in America, we can take away from that and we can learn from that. So the hope and the inspiration that Dr. Eisenbach's talks in his book provides, I think, lead us down a wonderful path of inspiration and encouragement. And I would really recommend that if you've not picked up a book or a movie or listened to a documentary about that particular time in our history and in the world's history, please consider doing that, because the strength, the will, the fortitude that that particular generation had can really resonate with us in these days with all that we're going through. And I dare say 20, 30 years from now, people are going to be looking back on our time and wondering, how did you get through COVID? How did you get through fires? How did you get through all of the things that were affecting us socially and culturally and nationally? How did you get through that? We should take with us what we've learned from our coping and our skills and the care that we've given not only our patients, but our neighbors, our friends, our families, each other in the hospital and out of the hospital. There are tremendous lessons to be learned. And so take those skills and those lessons with you. Don't leave them in the past. Take them with you and share with each other. Thank you so much once again for joining me. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and hopefully instill some new thinking and some new paths. And on behalf of the Spiritual Care Department, I wish you well, be well, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.